What's up, adventure family? I like to show you guys what I see while I'm walking. And today I was just going to make a short of a couple buildings that I saw. And not much longer after I made those videos, I met the guy whose family owns the property and got a little bit of a backstory. Here it is. What's up, adventure family? One of the cool things that you get to see while walking is old buildings. Not entirely sure what they're doing to it, but it looks like they're fixing it up. And across the street, I don't know if you can see very well, but there's some pillars, some rock cribbing pillars that I'm sure were the cornerstones to an old house at one point. Missouri's full of stuff like that. And then this is the house that's on the same property. Okay, so I wasn't exactly right about the pillars. They were actually for a barn, a hay barn. And then that smaller building next to the house was a hay barn as well, because they kept the mules next to the house and that's where they fed them. All right, an even cooler part of walking the country like this is the people that you get to talk to, and I think you guys already know that, but back over there where that excavator is, or bobcat, whatever it is, there was a guy working and he heard me yelling at Boots to heel, and I stopped over and talked to him. Turns out that all what I showed you is like his family, his property. Now I asked the guy how old the house was and he didn't have an exact number. What he told me was over 100 years old, and from what I know of Missouri, that is 100% possible. It could even be 150 years old. This part I thought was really cool. I just found some Pepsis on the side of the road. Look, we can't all be funny, all right? This is a schoolhouse, but his grandparents actually ended up living this. I'm gonna take one of these Pepsis. Hey, they're cold. Well, I suppose that makes sense. It was 33 degrees last night. His grandparents actually lived in and raised their kids in. But look at that. So where I actually ended up stopping and talking to him, he was actually loading up a bobcat because he's a contractor, but he's building another house on the property that his family owns. I think one of the coolest things about Missouri that I know of is that there's a lot of generational stuff here, where property is kind of handed down. Families allowed to live on the same property because there's acreage. You know, that town that I went through there, that area, wasn't even necessarily a town. It's just literally old properties, family properties. And that's one of the coolest parts about, I think, this area of the country versus like where I'm from in Minnesota. Sure, there are some of those area like properties that are passed down in the families, but it's not as common up there as you have it down here. But anyways, I thought I'd show you that and make it into a little bit of a video so that it was a little bit more entertaining. Let me know what you think. I might take your advice, I might not, I don't know. I'm just me, and that's what I do. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let's get this channel monetized. Have a good day, guys.